Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how to spot a toxic church, and the reality being, you won't. Research tells us that for many reasons, people will not be able to tell the difference between a healthy church and a toxic church. For a number of reasons, such as the affinity bias. The affinity bias simply states that you believe you are an excellent judge of character, and you can tell a difference between a good church from a bad church a mile away. And you would never choose a bad church, so therefore the church that you choose is a good church based upon the evidence that that's the one that you chose. But it's not just that. There's something else called the halo effect. Now, the halo effect kicks in as soon as you start to have positive experiences at the church you chose. Whether the worship is amazing, you found a small group, you were baptized, or you were welcomed, or the kids liked going there. These positive experiences reinforce your affinity bias and put a little mental halo around that church or its leadership, and this halo prevents you from seeing or comprehending the negative characteristics or negative traits that might also be happening at that same church. And it's important to understand the halo effect is not just trying to find out if the good outweighs the bad, but rather it's more we're going to tolerate the bad because we're afraid of losing the good. But finally, let's talk about toxic behavior itself. Toxic behavior in a church is often a tool and not necessarily a trait. Most people avoid using unhealthy behavior until they feel a loss of control. And so you could go to a church for many years and never see any red flags until there's a conflict of values, or maybe you violate an unspoken rule. And then the toxic tools are used to either bring you back in, to shut you down, or get you as far away as possible. And so after talking about all this, where do we go from here? Toxic behavior and our discomfort with seeing it is a human issue. So the best that we can do is to stay honest with what we observe. As it says in Luke 6:45, a tree will be known by its fruit. Every church is capable of toxic and healthy behavior. And the best way to tell is what a church does in the aftermath of conflict. A toxic church is always bad at handling conflict. And the gospel that Jesus preached to us invites us to handle power and control differently to better serve the people in our churches.